The fairies chased Jack Frost through the crowd, dodging around the legs of adults, children, and dogs. He's heading towards the fun house, thought Rachel over her shoulder. Let's try to corner him at the silly mirrors, said Kirsty. He's so vain that he's sure to slow down when he sees them. He won't be able to resist taking a look at himself. Just then Jack Frost changed direction, running too far to the left. Oh no, cried Fatima, he's trying to miss the mirror. I've got an idea, said Kirsty. She put on a burst of speed and tickled his ankles. Rachel joined in and Jack Frost straight and leaped into the air. Then he veered to the right. Yes, said Kirsty, he's heading straight towards the mirrors. He's slowing down, said Fatima. Sure enough, Jack Frost couldn't resist stopping in front of the first mirror to gaze at his reflection. No, he cried, I don't look like that. He bobbed up and down, trying to make his reflection look normal, but everything he did made him look more peculiar. I'm not that skinny, he muttered, moving on to the next mirror. There's something wrong with that one. The next mirror made him appear short and squat. I look like a frog, he raged. What's the matter with this thing? He bent down and peered at himself upside down. It didn't help. The next mirror was the one that made him look as round as a beach ball, with a tiny head. Seeing, he snatched the mirror keyring out of his pocket and clicked it open. Just as I thought, he exclaimed. In this mirror I look just as handsome as ever, perhaps even more so. He held the mirror up high, looking up into the sunlight shining on his face. Ah, what a gorgeous sight, he said, praising himself, blue and beautiful. Just then the sun shone in his eyes. For a second he squeezed them shut. Rachel and Kirsty seized the moment. They rotated upwards and swiped the keyring from Jack Frost's hands in one smooth movement. Hey, give that back, he yelled, jumping up and snatching at them in the air. The best friend zigzagged out of his way and felt the keyring slipping out of their tiny fingers. It's too heavy, cried Rachel. She and Kirsty fluttered their wings as hard as they could, but they were sinking down towards Jack Frost's grasping hands. Then Fatima zoomed up to Rachel and Kirsty, and as soon as she touched the keyring, it shrank to fairy size. The fairies darted out of sight behind the mirrors, and Jack Frost stomped after them. Give it to me, you annoying little pest, he demanded. It's not yours, said Rachel. Why do you want it? Fatima asked. I want to make everyone look like me, he said, snarling at them. I'm tired of looking around and seeing stupid fairy faces and grumblers goblin faces. There's only one face that I'll never get tired of seeing. Mine. But you are special, said Kirsty. You're one of a kind. There's no one else in the human or fairy world like you. Why would you want everyone else to look the same as you? Jack Frost glared at her with suspicion in his eyes. Why are you saying that? He demanded. It's all true, of course, but what would make you suddenly start talking sense? Just then he heard a giggle. Rachel was hovering beside the middle mirror, laughing. The mirrors were double-sided, so she could see her funny reflection even though they were behind it. What are you doing? Jack Frost shouted. Those stupid mirrors don't even work. You're wrong, Rachel said with another burst of laughter. They're wonderful, just look at me. She pointed at her reflection and Kirsty giggled. When she saw Rachel's little fairy body with a great big feet waddling around underneath it, Kirsty fluttered forward and spluttered with laughter. When she saw herself in the mirror, her fairy body looked as round as a berry, and her head was so small that it had almost disappeared. Rachel and Thirsty and Fatima couldn't help themselves. Bubbling with relief, they got the tea-ring back. They felt full of fun. Jack Frost's frown grew deeper and deeper as he watched them pulling faces in silly mirrors, holding on each other and helpless with laughter. "Stop laughing," he hissed through his teeth. "Give me that tea-ring. Be quiet." He stamped his foot, he roared and shouted, but the fairies just laughed more and more. "We cannot help it," said Kirsty, wiping tears of laughter from her eyes. "It's just so funny." "You are a pack of fools," Jack Frost yelled. "I'm going home." There was a bolt of icy blue magic, and the ice lord vanished back to his castle.